Powell's Books continues its author events with a conversation with Rachel King.
Rachel is the author of Bratwurst Haven, a collection of 12 stories featuring characters that are linked together through a sausage factory. And joining us in studio is the author Rachel King from Portland, a Portland native here. So it's nice to have a Portlander on the couch with us. First of all, congrats.
Thank you.
Thanks
so much.
Must be really rewarding.
Yes, it feels good. I've been writing a long time, so it's nice.
That's awesome. That's great. Well, tell us about the book. What can people expect?
So Bratwurst Haven is a linked collection of stories set around a sausage factory in Colorado. There's 12 different stories, and most of the characters work at the sausage factory, or they know people who work at the sausage factory. And each story stands alone, but then they're linked together. So the characters appear in different stories throughout.
And you just had a different perspective the entire time. Oh, that's fascinating.
That's fun. Yeah, was that a challenge to write kind of in that format rather than just kind of the same person's story from start to finish?
It was a challenge. I wanted to give each character enough page time, but also I enjoyed it. I enjoyed putting different characters in different stories, seeing different characters from other characters' perspectives, and each story stands alone too, so each story has its own narrative arc, so I enjoyed that.
Oh, that's really interesting. It would be a puzzle piece that the reader's trying to put together the whole time.
What a fun way to kind of explore different characters.
Absolutely.
I like that idea.
Yeah, so you get the chance to go over to Powell's.
Yes, reading at Powell's tonight.
Yeah, so what's that going to be like? You looking forward to that, I would imagine?
I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, I recruited a bunch of people to come, and anyone is welcome to come. Kimberly King Parsons, the author of Blacklight, she's going to be asking me some questions. So I'll read a story from the collection. I think I'm going to read a story called Powell, and then she'll be asking me about how I form the collection, the publishing process, different things like that. So,
oh, great.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So now this is actually your second published novel because last year you came out with People Along the Sand, a very cool story centered around Oregon's 1967 bottle bill.
Yeah. So
being a native Portlander, was this something that you had wanted to write about for a long time? What kind of sparked your interest in getting into that?
Yes, so this is about the 1967 Oregon Beach Bill and its characters working for and against the Beach Bill. My family used to go to Yachats on the Oregon coast every summer when I was a kid, so I know that area really well. So it's set on the Central Oregon coast. After college at University of Oregon, I lived on the East Coast, and I started to learn that there's private beaches back there, and all of our beaches are public land. So it fascinated me that we had something they didn't have, so I started to look more into the history. Then I ended up forming a novel around it.
So.
That's really neat. So it's a,
I misspoke. I was going to say a beach bill, not bottle bill.
Right.
Another
iconic Oregon bill, though.
Maybe an idea for your next novel.
Yeah, maybe the next one. Maybe the next one. The beach bill is so fascinating, though, the history and the impact that it made. Because it was so controversial at the time. And, you know, I don't know if are beaches public or private in Florida. Do they have private beaches in Florida?
There are private beaches, and much of the East Coast. Yeah, Oregon is really unique in that.
Yeah, and I'm with you. Where I grew up here, and I didn't even know that you could have a private beach. You know, what do you mean I can't just walk out there? So the impacts of it really neat. So it's a historical fiction.
Yeah, historical fiction.
Kind of more along those lines.
Yes, about 5 different characters. A 12-year-old boy, his parents who own a motel, a retired lighthouse keeper, and a bakery owner. So those are the main characters in there.
Really cool. Yeah, that's really neat. Okay, so there's People Along the Sand, and then again the new book, Bratwurst Haven. Where can people find these if they want to get their hands on them?
Just wherever you buy your books. You can buy them at Powell's. Annie Blooms has been really supportive of my work over in Multnomah Village. You can buy them there. You can buy them on Amazon. Anywhere you buy your books. So.
Yeah, it's fantastic and well timed. Like we said, this is going to be a great weekend to curl up inside with a new good book. So yeah, I would love for people to check them out. Do you have anything in the works right now? You worked on both of these during the pandemic. What's next for you?
Well, I've been working on another historical fiction piece called The Redheads, and it's about a group of women who played men's teams during the Great Depression in the 1930s.
Wow.
So it actually happened, but it's little known, and so I'm trying to fictionalize it and tell that story.
Oh,
so,
how cool.
Yeah.
How interesting. How do you find your inspiration for the next book? And as a writer, do you ever, you cross the finish line, you get one published, and, you do these events, do you ever just take a moment just to go, or are you just right into the next project?
Well, I'm always writing something. A lot of what I write isn't ever published, so sometimes something works out, sometimes it doesn't. So I just move on to the next thing and hope the next one works out. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's quite the life. Yeah.
I love historical fiction as a way to kind of dig into, you know, something that you haven't spent a lot of time learning about before in a way that just really draws you in as a reader. So very cool stuff. If you're looking for a good weekend read, we've got 2 new ideas for you. Rachel, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
And have fun tonight.
Yeah.
If you want to dig deeper into Bratwurst Haven, you can see Rachel tonight at 7 at Powell's City of Books.
All right, time now is 8:40. Up next, it's Foodie Friday.